So I think my last position at Ditra, when I worked upstairs at the red team, really showcases my ability to lead a team and establish priorities. On the red team, we're given various missions to analyze friendly or vulnerabilities in major friendly infrastructures. And I was the head of a three-man team designed to find vulnerabilities in our national missile defense, in our theater missile defense, in the Persian Gulf, as well as in EUCOM's nuclear weapons storage. And in this capacity, again, I had the responsibility of leading these analysts, establishing collection priorities, working with our partners at National Geospatial Agency and NSA, as well as Fifth Group, USASOC, down at Fort Campbell. And I was the one that made the final decisions on what we're going to collect on, what were the requirement, what was the identified vulnerability. And then I led the team when we went overseas to make sure that they were actually collecting on the requirements we laid out. And then all this was brought up and had to be explained in a briefing to either the NAVCENT commander or AFCENT commander in the Persian Gulf or in CENTCOM. And then the final product was an in-depth 80-page study that encompassed all the open source, the imagery, what the Fifth Group guys found, and most importantly, our methodology, why we chose to exploit these vulnerabilities or find these vulnerabilities. And again, I was the man in charge for establishing what we're looking for, tasking it out to the various agencies, holding them responsible, and then briefing and then editing and producing a long paper. I think my actions at TSA really help illustrate or showcase this facet. If you can recall, back in 2011, there was the fear that there could be a surgically implanted bomb attack. Someone would actually put a bomb from Yemen or for Al-Qaeda in the Yemen Peninsula inside them, and they would use this to subvert our security and down a U.S. commercial airliner. I was on the Intel threat team that tried to assess the threat, and develop mitigation strategies for this. And in this capacity, I had to figure out all the assumptions that somebody would use to figure out which areas someone would strike on, whether it's a large U.S.-based carrier, number of passengers, flights that connect quickly to places in Yemen, and all those other factors that were relevant. And it really showcased, again, not just my analytical ability, my ability to coordinate massive amounts of information, and we're talking flight manifests, flight rosters, flight travel areas, and I use this to, again, drive the process of where we think this is going to be, so TSA could better allocate where behavioral detection officers are going to go, what international airports, where we need to expedite the screening, the body scanners that are so ubiquitous in U.S. airports, where we just need to make sure that security is upgraded or federal air marshals are employed. So again, the intelligence was there. I had to brief this to the TSA leadership, and that drove this better allocation of material.